Before we get into this video, ladies and gentlemen, this is just an announcement that episode 1 of the Extended Bench will be this Sunday. You do not want to miss it. We'll be live reacting to the Manly versus Titans game at Seabus, entering this round of the footy. So make sure you jump along. It's going to be interesting to see it. It is the first edition, the first episode. So please join, please subscribe, please give us a follow. Don't even have to watch me for the entire stream. Just come along, leave a like and a comment to show your appreciation. And if you enjoy it, I'll do more. I'm really excited to start this. It's something I've always wanted to do. At the moment, it'll be pretty basic, just me live reacting to games, but in the future, I want to be able to get a setup, have some guests on, and we can expand this. But only if you guys can show that support. If you don't like it, don't come. But if you do, please support us with a like here, a subscribe, and a follow. Even if you enjoyed this video, do all the above. I'm really trying to hammer that home. Anyways, let's get straight into the video with Nick from Australia, and these are our round 15 NRL tips. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 19th man. We're here for the round 15 preview. We are once again joined by Nick from Australia, the bloody legend. So go sub to him. His link will be in the description again. But it is Beanie for Brain Cancer Round. So guys, go out, cop a beanie. You can also donate to the great organisation. We need, brain cancer. It's killing a lot of us, unfortunately. So we need to go out there and help donate so we can understand more research and hopefully get a cure for it. Please go support Mark Hughes. He's one of the greats, and not only on the field, but off the field. So there'll be a link to donate and buy a beanie in the description. But Nick, mate, round 15, how you going?
Mate, thanks for having me on once again. It's an honour to be here. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great round of footy. And I just want to say as well, every multi that I get right this weekend, half of it will be going to the Mark Hughes Foundation. So if I win 200, 100 will go to the Mark Hughes Foundation. If I win 50, 25 will go and so forth. So hopefully I can win some big money this weekend and make some money for the Mark Hughes Foundation. Hopefully anyway.
Yeah, let's go. I'm sure everyone, it's one of those great rugby league rounds. Everyone gets behind it. So hopefully we can see some good footy. But this first game, I'm not too sure it will give us some, because the Broncos, who are tied last on points and for and against with the Bulldogs, are playing the Rabbitohs, who are red hot right now. For the Rabbitohs, everyone comes back. For the Broncos, Xavier Coates has been named despite his hammy injury. Tessie New looks like he's going to be starting at fullback for the foreseeable future. They've kept Carmichael Hunt in there. And look, I don't know how long we're going to spend on this game, really, but look, I think we're both going to tip the Bunnies. Is there any chance that the Broncos can get the win?
If the Broncos can get to a 16, 18-0 lead, then they might have a chance. But even that, South Sydney have got so much attack in them with Latrell, Walker, Reynolds, Cook. I don't even think 18-0 would be enough for the Broncos. Look, I wish them all the best up there on Thursday night, Suncorp Stadium. I hope it's a good game, but I feel like it's going to be a very one-sided game. And I'm going to go South Sydney to win 13+, and I reckon Latrell Mitchell will score a double on Thursday night. He'll have a big game.
Yeah, I'm also going to South 13+. There isn't too much to talk about here. I guess Adam Reynolds, the Broncos, he kicked the first 2-point field goal against them earlier in the year. They get to see him up close. Look, I think everyone's just pretty adamant that Reynolds going to the Broncos is a good thing. But, I might throw him in for an anytime try. It's just the way rugby league works, isn't it? So we'll go both go South 13+. Cody Walker has also scored, I think, 5 times in the past 4 matches against the Broncos as well. So there you go. But we're both going to go South 13+. We'll go into the next game. The Cowboys looking to respond. Nick, mate, last week, I'm going to ask you because I was delighted that they're at a beautiful Four Pines Park. Are you recovered yet? Are you all right?
Well, I have recovered, even though conceding 50 for the first time in 10 years was very difficult to watch on last Friday night. But what I will say is I don't believe it was the worst game the Cowboys played all year. I still believe the game against Cronulla earlier in the year where we got beat 48-10 was the worst performance, but gee whiz. The game against Manly was bad. Conceding 50 after leading 12-0 after 10 minutes, things were looking good. And then, I don't know, just everyone from Manly just started to fire up and the Cowboys went back into their shell. I don't know why Val Hunt's back up from State of Origin. He had absolutely nothing on Friday night. And the Sharks are not going to be a pushover. They're going to be tough, the Sharks. They've won 3 in a row, and They've shown some good form as of late. The Cowboys, they're still in that 7th spot thanks to the Bulldogs beating the Dragons. This is going to be a really tight game.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, these two teams are both in that sort of like, I guess the top 6 regarding if Tommy can stay fit is pretty much set.
Yeah.
These two teams fighting out, and I think these are going to be the most entertaining games that we're going to see for the rest of the season. But you just mentioned the Cowboys conceded 50. Now, obviously, the entire media, they all love saying, which is a true stat, by the way, when you concede 50, you have no chance of winning the comp. We have seen score lines increase by 25% overall, and we saw that South conceded 50 as well twice. Do you think that this 50, not saying I don't think the Cowboys can win the comp to burst your bubble, but do you think that the Rabbitohs at least can still win the comp? Because I think that 50-point start can sort of go out the window this year a little bit.
I think that that 50-point stat is almost going to be irrelevant. If you have a look at it, the way the game is at the moment, all the points that get scored every week and the high-scoring games and all that situation, I think South Sydney is still contenders. They can still win the premiership. I wouldn't write Souths off. Look, what's going to happen if Penrith have half the team out and they play Melbourne and Melbourne put 50 on them? What happens then? What happens if Melbourne have all their players out and they get beat by 50? So, it works itself out, I guess, but that record will break eventually. And with how fast the game is at the moment, that I think that will break eventually. And if anyone's going to break that record, and I think it would be South Sydney. So I think that record will break eventually. But back on the Cowboys Sharks game, should be a really tight game. Could go either way, but I'm going to tip the Cowboys at home to bounce back. I don't think they'll be as bad as they were last week. And normally when a team gets flogged one week, they normally bounce back the next. So I think the Cowboys will win on Friday night, 1-12, and I reckon Val Holmes will get a double against his former side.
I'm also going to tip the Cowboys. A lot of people, including you, have pointed out I don't tip the Cowboys too much. And to be fair, they're in 7th, so they are better than most teams if you're going off that logic. They get felt back. Tommy did, and unfortunately, have the best debut. Now, Cohen Hess moves back to the front row. Thank the Lord, because he did not look well in the back row last week. And he got back into Origin contention. I think Cowboys win this in a very close game. Maybe a little golden point, maybe some cheeky Valentine Holmes magic. But I'm going to go Cowboys 1-12.
There's talk about him maybe playing for Queensland in game 2. So you'd think he'd be out for a big game. And he'd be up against Jesse Ramian, who's a pretty good centre, and he's a big body. So if the Hammer can have a big game against Ramian on Friday night, maybe he might get a chance in that Origin jersey. But we'll see what happens. But I'm with you. Cows to win 1-12. Should be a very entertaining game, and it'll probably be a high-scoring game as well.
If you're Paul Reed, would you pick him?
I'd rather go Chambers personally, but I think they'll lead towards the youth. But whoever plays that centre spot, you're either guarding Latrell or you're guarding Tom. And let's face it, I don't care what side they put Dan Gagai on. Good luck stopping any of them two.
Bro, you got to feel for Queensland. But hey, they did it to us for 8 years, so I guess fuck
Yeah,
it.
they did. I did.
Exactly. We're both going Cowboys here, 1-12, and which would be a very interesting game. Very good game. Shout out to Murray Talangi, by the way. We were giving him a bit of feedback on the sideline at 4 Pines Park, Brookie Oval, when Cowboys were up 12-0, and I was thinking it'd be a long game for a Seagull, but he was nice enough to give us the old hello. So good on him. Match of the round, Penrith versus the Roosters. Penrith fans are salivating. They get their boys back. For the Roosters, they get Teddy back. Sam Walker's playing despite, I don't know what's going on with his shoulder. It should be a cracking game. Viliami Kickout is out, actually, so that's actually a huge loss. If Penrith lose through on the trot, they have their full side back. Is that a major concern for them?
I wonder what is it. I mean, have a look at Penrith. I mean, obviously they've lost 2 in a row, but if they lose this game and they lose 3 straight, what excuse are they going to come up with this week? They've had an excuse the last 2 weeks they've lost. They've lost, to the Tigers and they've lost to the Sharks. And everyone's been saying, I didn't have the Origin stars out. They would have won if I had them all in. So what? Don't matter. You got to have depth in this competition if you're going to do well in State of Origin period. So I wonder what excuse they'll come up with if they get beat this week, but this is going to be a great game. Kickout is a big loss, but to be fair, Kickout hasn't been at his best the last couple of weeks. I think he's been really disappointing. I expect him to be playing a lot better than what he is, but he is a big loss. You need these big name players in these big games, and I'm expecting Kurt Capewell and Liam Martin to do a great job, but gee whiz, the form of Crichton at the moment, it's a big loss, I'm telling you, because the way Crichton and Tupanui are going, that Martin and Capewell want to have their shoulders ready because this is going to be a big game. And I'm just a bit concerned about Kurt Capewell. In State of Origin, he was really found out. I wonder if he's going to lose a bit of form after Origin. Some players, they go in the State of Origin and, they get exposed a little bit and they come back to club level. They're not the same. So I wonder if Kurt Capewell's gotten over State of Origin. But it's going to be a very interesting game. And Kickout, he's definitely a big loss.
Yeah, obviously, I think there's been so many examples of players who go into Origin really, I didn't say it last year, but if Nathan Cleary goes into Origin the way if he plays Origin like he did last year, this year, I think he comes out of it not as confident, doesn't play as well. And I think we've seen that a lot through history. Look, I don't think the Roosters could win the comp. They probably would have, I think it's a two-team race anyway, but look, I still don't think they're a dark horse, but they're still a quality team. I think this should be an entertaining game. Roosters obviously want revenge. Penrith obviously beat them in last year's final series. But I think Penrith, they're just too strong. You don't lose 3 in a row if you're them. So I'm going to go Penrith 1-12, although 1-12. I think this will be a very close game. But Roosters, they'll be honouring Boyd Corner, so they'll be fired up. But I think Angus Crichton is a pretty good bet for any time try scorer. Obviously, he wants an Origin jersey back and didn't have his best game. He missed 11 tackles last week. But, I've got Penrith winning. Are you the same?
I want to tip the Roosters, but I can't. I just can't tip them. With the players back for Penrith, Cleary and Luai, Toto, Capewell, Yo, I'm going to go Penrith 1-12 as well. I think Stephen Crichton and Ikavali will score a try each from both sides. But hey, if the Panthers lose this game, what excuse are they going to come up with this week? Because there's no excuses this week. They've got their full team in, except kick out. But we all know Liam Martin's a quality player, and Kurt Capewell, they're both Origin players, so there's no excuse. So, the Panthers should win 1-12, but don't write the Roosters off because I reckon this game will go down to the wire on Friday night. Should be a great game.
Should be a cracking game, obviously, Tedesco versus Cleary. But I think Penrith fans, you just made up their excuse. Oh, we only brought an Origin forward in because Kick-Our's out. Bruh. Anyway, Knights versus Warriors. Newcastle fans are salivating. Their blood is boiling. They get Ponga and they get Piercy back. Warriors got smashed last week and they're losing Harris Tavita for the year. Look, this should be a very interesting game. Both teams are going to be they're sort of the same as the Cowboys Sharks game. Both teams are battling in that 7th to 13th because we're battling for the bottom 8 spots. Look, I'm going to go. You go. Who are you tipping? Because this is a toss of a coin for me.
I'm going Newcastle 1-12, and I am going on record right now when I am officially putting a line through the Warriors' final chances. I can't see them making the 8 without Chanel Harris-Tavita. Cody Nickreema's been poor all year. Sean O'Sullivan's probably a backup half at best. And there's only so much that Reece Welch and RTS can do. I think the Warriors season's over and Newcastle getting their players back. And I think Newcastle win and win well on Saturday. I reckon they'll win 13+. And I reckon Mitchell Pearce will have a couple try assists. And I reckon Mitchell Barnett will score a try.
Yeah. Now that you've said Knights, it really wants me to tip Warriors just so we can be different. But there's something about Mitchell Pearce. He's pretty much, look, I'm not going to say he's turbo of the Knights, but the stats suggest he's close to that. So I'll tip the Knights. They'll see Pearcey, they'll see Ponga, they'll get Keane. Mark Hughes round as well, Beanie for brain cancer round. He's a Newcastle legend. They didn't turn up for Old Boys Day. They should turn up today. I can't speak. Bloody hell, my English has just run away from me today. Reece Walsh comes back for suspension, but I think it's Not enough. I think Newcastle get this done. I think they win this 1-12. And I think Piercy comes back and gets man. No, sorry, Piercy. I'm going to go Ponga. Contending for a Queensland jersey. He'll get man of the match. But we're both going Newcastle for that one. We're yet to differ.
What I will say about the Knights, now I've been saying it all year, when Pierce went down, it is literally the same when Manly had no Turbo. It is literally the same thing. Now he's back, a new halves combination with Jake Clifford, and it might take a few weeks for them to gel together, but Pierce is back, Newcastle are back, so expect a really tight game. And Newcastle are in 14th spot on the ladder. They should be better than that, you know. Their forward pack is very good, and I expect Newcastle to win this game on Saturday. And if they don't, well, there'll be a lot of question marks around Newcastle. And, you know, if Newcastle lose this game, you could pretty much put a line for them as well, because if they lose this game and the other teams like the Cowboys and Sharks and teams that are around that 8 win on the weekend, you know, it might be difficult for Newcastle to catch them. So they have to win this game, the Knights.
So if Knights don't win this game, but let's say Piercy and Ponga play the rest of the year, do you think right now would you tip Knights to make one of those bottom 2-8 spots?
Having a look at the ladder what are they? The 2 games or the 1 game out of the 8, mathematically. I think if they lose this game, it's going to be very tough for them. I think it's down to a couple of teams if they don't. It's so hard to say because it changes every week. We don't know who's going to make the 8. But if they lose this game, and you know, if the Raiders win, or if you know, if the Titans get a win, it might be difficult for them.
Yeah, so we're both going to go Knights. It's very interesting. Another interesting game. The Dragons, who just lost to the Doggies. The Raiders, who just smashed the Broncos. Bailey Simonson looked good at fullback. All right, I know Lomax is in jersey 21, so he won't play. But the Dragons, they're in 8th spot, tied with a bunch of teams, only a couple wins in front of other teams. They've lost 7 of their past 9, only beating the Broncos and the Bulldogs. The Dragons, look, I'm just going to go throw this out there. Do you see the Dragons making the top 8?
I still think they're a chance when they get that full team in. I mean, you know, they're still missing Maguire, Tyrell, Fuimano. Who else is out for them still? They've still got a few out. I think they'll be between that 11th and 7th spot. You know, they'll be fighting for the 8th. They just need to figure out this whole situation with Dufty, and now Norman been told to leave. You don't tell your players right now that they can look for another club next year when you're literally in the top 8. It's just going to make them not want to play for the coach. So, you know, I don't understand it, but I'll tell you right now, this game for mine was so hard to pick. I literally had to toss the coin in my tipping video yesterday when I did it. It was so hard to pick. So I'm going Canberra 1-12, absolutely zero confidence. And I reckon, let's go Elliot Whitehead to score a try. Absolutely no confidence in this game at all.
I've got no confidence. Saying that, both these teams love to lose 13+. So I'm tipping the Raiders 13+. I've just come back to Canberra. That's a good omen, sort of. And I think that Matthew Tomoko, he's a bloody good player. I'm going to go here.
Yeah, he was good last week, wasn't he?
Oh, he was unbelievable, to be fair. They're playing the Broncos. But they're still an NRL team. So you can't be too harsh. Josh Papali'i, he was a freak last week, but again, this is just a flip of the coin, isn't it? I'm going Raiders. We're yet to differ, so hopefully we can soon, but I don't think it's going to be this game. Storm West Tigers. Look, Christian Welsh comes back for Storm. Tigers. Will the Tigers ever be consistent?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, I think the Tigers are a team that is ready for next year. That they'll have a better team next year when they get Hastings, they get Gilda, the England centre. You know, they're getting players for next year, the Tigers. Cameron Marlowe's a big signing. That's a really good buy there. It puts a bit of stability in their outside backs. I think the Tigers are a team probably more focused on next year than this year, because I don't think they can make the 8 this year. Where are they now? 13th. They're in the same spot as Newcastle. I mean, it's a big ask for them, but, you know, you just expect Melbourne to win up there at Sunshine Coast Stadium on Saturday night. But what I will say, this game will be closer than what everyone thinks. Everyone's going to go Melbourne 30+ and whatever. I'm telling you right now, the Tigers' style of football definitely worries the Storm. The way they offload through the ruck and their outside backs can cause a lot of headaches. Dane Laurie's been a freak all year. Momola and Nofaluma, they will get the sets rolling really well. And if Luke Brooks can just run the ball and try and find some short balls for Garner or Leilua, and if they can combine and get Roberts involved, I don't think the Tigers can win the game, but they can be competitive. So I'm going to go Melbourne 1-12 here, and LA Carr will score a double. But this will be closer than what we all think, I'm telling you. I really believe it'll be close.
Well, we can say we dip here because I think it's the exact opposite. I think Melbourne win this 40+, and I think
fair enough.
Cameron Munster and Harry Grant, their last game before Origin 2, they rip in. We haven't seen Munster fire for a while now.
No, we haven't, no.
Still believe he's probably the second best player in the world behind Tedesco, even though on form it's definitely Cleary and Tom. But I think Melbourne get this done. Look at that. They've got so many injuries, and when you match them up, they pretty much win every individual battle. I don't think they just went top of the ladder. Bellamy will not let them drop to the bloody Tigers. No offense, Tigers fans. I think they get this done very comfortably, and I'm going to go Munster to get at least 1 or 2 tries. He did scream Melty up last week. So, I'm just...
Cameron Munster, the kicker. The guy that loves kicking players on the ground. The kicker, Munster.
Up the kicker. To be fair, he can't kick a conversion, so he has to kick something, doesn't he? He's going to be practicing on the field. Well, you're a passionate man. I'm not going to agree with it. Obviously, kicking someone on the bloody ground, but when you try to play the ball, players are kicking all the time. But
yeah, they are
we seeing a bit of Melbourne? Like, he's been done twice in the span of 4 days. He hasn't got a suspension. Is that bullshit?
Oh, it is bullshit. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's no consistency with it. Obviously, we've seen no consistency with the high tackles. We saw last week, Kobe Hetherington in the Raiders-Broncos game, he got sent off for just, I don't know, it was ridiculous. He couldn't go anywhere. What was he meant to do? Was he meant to fall over? What, miss a tackle and then get sprayed by Kevy after the game? So, I mean, the Kobe Hetherington one was ridiculous. He got sent off, which was a penalty at best. Not even a penalty. I thought it was just a good shot. And, all he got was a fine from it. He didn't even get charged by the judiciary. So that just proves to me that the NRL got that one wrong. So, the guys in charge of the NRL need to get their act together because the inconsistency is turning fans off the game. I had someone comment on my YouTube channel this morning saying, Nick, if the NRL don't fix their rules, I'm not going to watch the game anymore. And I'm going, I don't blame you with the way it is at the moment with all these rules. So hopefully they can fix their crap.
All right, well, I was going to talk about this in a video that I was going to post yesterday. Didn't come to fruition because the day before when I tried to stream it, I had internet problems, and then I had a bloody...
unlucky.
Then I had some personal shit yesterday. Is the crackdown getting worse? Now, obviously, the first reaction is no, because not every player is going to the bin every 3 seconds. But what we are seeing is a bigger level of inconsistency, because before it was you slap him, you touch him on the face, you're gone. Whereas now it's one referee lets Kevin Proctor stays on the field, the other refs sin bins Mike Acevo, and another one sends bloody Paul Hetherington off. So do you think the crackdown, it's not obviously worse, but is it, in terms of infuriating, is it worse than what it was before?
Well, I think Magic Round was the worst one. I don't know if they could ever be worse than what it was at Magic Round. I was there at Magic Round. I was there at every game, and I was around a lot of everyone, and some people walked out and left because of the crackdown. Some people were fuming. Some people just sat there and complained, like pretty much half the crowd did. And by the time I got to day 2, day 3, everyone was just, every high tackle, everyone in the crowd was just chanting sin bin as a joke. And then, other people are just sitting there going, well, why? What's the sin bin for? And it's become a bit laughable, this whole, hit to the head situation. And I've got to say, the ones where you're meant to go for a HIA is a mess as well. Ash Taylor had a head clash in the Titans-Roosters game with, trying to remember who it was. I can't remember exactly who it was with.
It was David.
Yes. Now, Fafita went off for a HIA. He passed and came back on. Why didn't Ash Taylor go for a HIA as well? And see what I mean? Like, there's no consistency, but, you get Kobe Hetherington goes for a so-called high tackle, he gets sent off the field. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I think nothing would be worse than what it was at Magic Round, but the NRL are having a debacle every week with this. So they really need to try and fix it up.
Yeah, I just think that it's pretty much, for me, it's more infuriating because, you know, while, like, obviously Tyson Gamble getting simmed in against that Manly game was utter nonsense, and that's not going to happen now, which I guess makes a lot of people more happy. But it's the fact that something happens and you're literally having to have a lottery ticket because you don't know what this referee is going to do, because the one you had last week had different interpretations. So, look, it's just confusing. Back to the game. You've gone Storm 1 to 12. I'm going Storm 13 plus. That's You went, don't talk about Storm Tigers games when he's previewing Storm Tigers games, because there's 2 rules to tipping. Never tip the Tigers and always tip Melbourne. So
yeah, pretty much.
Into the next one, Eels Doggies. Sean Russell has been named on the wing over Blake Ferguson. Is Blake Ferguson's Parramatta career over?
I think Blake Ferguson will make the team if there's an injury, but I thought it was going to happen last week. But apparently not. Maybe Blake Ferguson and Brad Arthur have had something go on that we don't know about. I'm not too sure, but I think we're both going to pick Parramatta 13 plus here. But expect the Bulldogs to fire up early on. You know, it is a rivalry game. It goes back a long time, these 2 sides. I wouldn't say, you know, it's your Roosters Rabbitohs sort of rivalry game anymore. It's nothing like what it used to be, these 2 sides. But both teams don't like each other. I do expect to see a bit of early tension. You know, they played last time and the Eels beat them by like 22 or something. So I'm hoping for a better game between these 2 sides. But I feel like when you have a rivalry game in a round or so, you got to give it good primetime TV. I don't care how bad the sides are going. You know, for example, if the Dragons played the Sharks, it should be a Friday night or a Thursday night game. If you're going to have Broncos, Cowboys, or Rabbitohs, Roosters, Eels, Dogs, you've got to put it on free TV. You can't be having these rivalry games just on Fox because people get annoyed by it. But Eels, Dogs, I think we're both going Para 13 plus, but I'm hoping the Bulldogs show up like they did last week and make a good game of it.
Yeah, hopefully T-Bass can get the boys up. He'll be like, boys, see how good that win was? We got on it. We had some fun. If you win, we can do that again. But I think Parramatta, they're a top 4 side. They're going to win this 13 plus. But yeah, it should be on at 4 p.m. really, because the 4 p.m. game is the Titans versus the Seagulls. The Seagulls get Tommy Turbo back after putting 50 points on. When have you ever heard that as a sentence? Because usually it's Manly have been thumped by 50. Manly are on a complete roll. If the Titans can come back like they did last week, if they can play like they did during that comeback stage, they could probably get the W here. And as a Manly fan, I'm actually not that confident. I'm still tipping Manly 13 plus because you're not going to tip Manly 13 plus. But yeah, Tommy Trbojevic is a huge in for Manly. What does it do for Manly knowing that they just smashed a team without him?
I think it just gives them a lot of confidence. I think Des would have told them going into the Cowboys game, look, Tom's going to be rested. There's no excuses. Don't go. And I think they would have said to him, just because Tom's out doesn't mean we can't still play good football. But, you know, we can't rely on one player. We've got to be able to, you know, take advantage of the fact that we're resting Tom, and we should go out there and destroy the Cowboys and do what we do against every other side with Tom. So I think Des would have gave him a spray and just said, do you want to be known as a team that can only win with one player? And Manly can win without Tom. They proved it last week. And, you know, look, I'm sorry, Titans fans, but I think Manly win this game by at least 40. And I'm going to go on the record and say that the Titans have got the worst defence in the competition. Their defence is awful. I would rather the Bulldogs' defence than the Titans at this stage. So Manly to win 40 plus, Turbo double, Saab double, and Cherry Evans will score as well.
That's the Titans' biggest problems. But I think a lot of people, their argument is they love scoring points, but they can't defend them. And yes, they scored 34 points against the bloody Roosters, but they dominated that first half so much, and they only got a lucky bull try at the end. The Titans, right? Oh, look, I've said this about 50 times, so I'm not going to ask him if you tip him for the 8. But Were they completely overhyped? Because we both preseason didn't put him in the 8, and we were ridiculed by everyone. Bro, we're looking good now, aren't we? Oh.
I look like $1 million of what I said about the Gold Coast. I did a video at the start of the year. I said the Gold Coast Titans are overhyped, and I copped it every single hour. I got a comment. You're wrong. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. We are currently going into round 15. The Titans are sitting in 12th spot on the ladder. They have a win record of 5 wins and 9 losses. Put a red pen for the Gold Coast. Now, I've got my ladder predictions here from the start of the year on where I had teams in my top 8. I had the Gold Coast around 12, 13. So at the moment, I look like $1 million. And let me just say this. The Gold Coast Titans season is over, and I am no longer getting a Titans tattoo because I said at the start of the year, if Titans make that, I'll get a Titans tattoo. Well, that tattoo ain't coming now, so goodbye, Titans. Enjoy your little holiday to Bali. They're done.
Well, hopefully we can get an invite to their Mad Monday because I'm sure there'll be tears, there'll be blood, and there will be sweat and a lot of probably 4X because filthy Queenslanders. But
yeah, probably.
Those are our tips. Did we differ on any game? I don't think we did.
Well, if you go back to the Eels-Dogs game, we didn't pick a try scorer, but I'm going to take Junior Paulo for the Eels to score against the Dogs on Sunday.
I'll go. He dogged me last week. He robbed me of some money. We can't say rob because, well, I'm getting to that. I'm building suspense. You got to build it. Isaiah Papali'i is my favourite player in the NRL right now. Yes, he gave that Tigers player some knee for dinner or lunch, whatever time it was. But I love him. I love Isaiah.
Why did he not get suspended for that too, by the way?
Because it's the Eels.
Fair enough.
Is that a good response? Probably not.
They need all the help they can get in the big games this year. Hopefully they can do well, the Eels, but I don't know if they can win the comp, but I think they're a contender. I'd probably say the Eels and the Roosters for mine are on very similar levels. Like with all the Roosters injuries, with the current Roosters team, I think they're on the same level as Parramatta. But if Roosters had that full team, I'd be on Roosters any day. But I think at the moment, Roosters and Eels are on the same sort of level with their current teams.
I would go, if I had to list, I would go Penrith and Melbourne, then under that Rabbitohs, then I'm biased Manly, then if Turbo stays fit, then Para, then Roosters, and then I don't give any team a chance. Although it's footy, it's rugby league, we're bound to see someone just at round 20 start frothing. But those are our round 15 tips. Look, I said it last week. Who would you have play for your life? If your life was dependent on one game, who is winning no matter what? Is what I'm
pretty sure last week I said South Sydney and Melbourne. So I think I won last week. The team I'm putting my house on this week, I'm going to put my house on the Rabbitohs, and I'm going to go for a roughie. I'm going to put my house on the Panthers. If they better not lose this, I swear to God. House on the Panthers as well.
So what we'll be saying is if you want to watch a Nick from Australia video, he will be filming it from the local park in his sleeping bag because his house will be gone if the Roosters win this week. Nick, thanks so much for tuning into the round 15 preview. You're going to be live streaming any games this weekend?
Well, last State of Origin night, I live streamed State of Origin and I received my first copyright strike because I had audio in the background. Now, normally when I live stream a game with NRL, whether it be a Channel 9 game or a Fox game, they don't normally give a crap about the audio. But because it was Origin, I got in trouble. I am still waiting for an email from YouTube. But what I will say is there will be live streams this weekend. I don't know what games I'm doing yet, but definitely Panthers Roosters. That'll be a lock.
Anyway, so guys, go watch his YouTube channel. If you're not subbed to him already, then you don't watch rugby league on YouTube is what I'm trying to say. But guys, Thanks for watching. Leave your tips in the comment section below. Give us a like, give us a sub, give us a follow on Instagram. We're trying to build that up. I'm on fire at the moment. I haven't missed a day of posting. But yeah, guys, show your appreciation. Obviously, we're still pretty new to the 19th man. I'm still your local ranger. I'm still PG. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week with Nick, hopefully. Maybe someone else, though. We'll let you know. See you, boys.